This is Theresa May. We're going to get into the fallout of the terrorist attack in London that happened over the weekend. But this is, I mean, David Cameron, when he took over the Conservative Party, I believe in 2008, or no, actually significantly earlier, it was like 2005, and then was elected several years later. He initially campaigned on as almost like a continuation of Blair. He promised to continue kind of social service funding levels, and then used being in office and the fallout from the financial crisis as an excuse to implement the classic regressive program you'd expect from the Tories, which was massive, savage austerity, ruthless cuts in middle and working class people's lives, and then, of course, you know, the same tax giveaways for the original trust fund babies, the UK ultra rich. As Gordon Brown said, the tax plan were dreamed up on the fields of Eton, and that was his only good line before he was drummed out of office. But David Cameron certainly had a better ability to evade and to kind of spin his way out of his accountability for his extraordinarily vicious attack on most people in the UK. And it was, you know, exactly. Hey, I lost my home and benefit. I was waiting for it again. No, go ahead. No, but so in 2015, Ed Miliband actually looked to be relatively poised to perform fairly well. It looked like there was definitely going to be another coalition government, and Cameron ended up winning a very convincing victory, of which I am convinced most of it really had to do with just presentational and leadership issues and problems that Ed Miliband had in terms of presenting himself. I also think that Miliband, even though he had a clearly much more left position than Blair or Brown, was, you know, caught in the middle of embracing the Blair-Brown legacy and rejecting it. And frankly, I think in politics, a clarity of message in some ways is more important. So, you know, better to do a Jeremy Corbyn and reject it, or maybe actually run as a kind of more direct continuation of some of the things people liked about those policies. But Theresa May went into this campaign expecting to dominate. She's a extraordinarily awful candidate, and it makes it much more difficult for her to evade questions like this. This is at a leaders forum that happened on Friday, and a nurse is talking about her real loss in wages because of the austerity of this Tory government. And just this, whatever the opposite of, I feel your pain, Theresa May is doing here.
Working as a nurse for 26 years, do the Tories expect our support in the light of another 1% pay increase?
What we're looking at in terms of the National Health Service and ensuring that we can provide the National Health Service in the future is, if we just look at how much money is now being spent on the NHS, in the 5 years to 2020, we will be spending £500 billion on the National Health Service. Now, we're putting more money in at the moment, and we will continue to put more money into the future, into the NHS. But it is important that we recognise, as you will know as a nurse, the demands on the NHS are increasing all the time. We recognise the work that the NHS staff do, but
nurses get paid less and less.
Nurses get an increase, and obviously there are some other payments as well.
We've had a real terms decrease of 14% since 2010. So don't tell us we're getting a pay rise.
Let the person sitting next to you say it, the nurse said.
I agree with that. My wage slips from 2009 reflect exactly what I'm earning today. So how can that be fair in light of the job that we actually do?
And I recognise the job that you do, but we have had to take some hard choices across the public sector in relation to public sector pay restraint. We did that because of the decisions we had to take to bring public spending under control, because it wasn't under control under the last Labour government. And I'm being honest with you in terms of saying that we will put more money into the NHS, but there isn't a magic money tree that we can shake that suddenly provides for everything that people want.
You come in on this.
Yeah, so a woman making a living, keeping up with cost increases, as a nurse in the most important national institution in the UK is asking for a magical money tree, not a robust shift in spending priorities that would actually allow her to make a living and hold to account the massive skyrocketing inequality that has also defined the modern UK, almost as bad as the United States. And let's be really honest here. Theresa May, who opposed Brexit initially, is a born-again Brexiteer, and she is very committed to the process. And the Tories' vision of the UK outside of the EU is to turn it into a almost regional Singapore. The goal was, and they lied about it when they were campaigning on this, people like Boris, they said, oh, you know, the money that's going to the EU could go additional funding for the health service. That was the first thing that they acknowledged the day after the referendum passed. Like, actually, probably not. They want to cut standards on labor, cut standards on the environment, slash social services, and turn the UK even more so into essentially a regional tax haven and place for lower labor standards. So not only are they not going to make those investments, they want to fundamentally transform and decimate all of the achievements of UK social democracy like the NHS. So look forward to that if this woman continues on as a leader.
Hey, Sam Seder here. Folks, you probably heard about the whole YouTube advertiser apocalypse. Well, we're suffering from it too. We need your help. If you want to keep this show alive, you want us to be able to still put out clips on a regular basis, head over to our Patreon page. Here's the link right here or down below there. And just give us a couple bucks a month and support this program. Really appreciate it.